Hi, good afternoon and welcome everyone. We are going to get started on our afternoon webinar. My name is Mary Matzebacher and I'm the president of Go West Summit. We are less than a month away from seeing you in Las Vegas for our 38th annual Go West Summit. This webinar is designed to help you get prepared for Go West and to serve as an opportunity to get your questions answered and to get the most out of your time while you're at Go West. Here we're seeing record registrations. At this time, we have tour operators from 32 countries with suppliers from 19 Western states and one Canadian province. There are plenty of business opportunities for everyone. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Christine, who is going to get us started.
Hey, thank you, Mary. And thank you, everyone, for joining us today. For those of you who don't know Mary, she's the president, founder, and face of Go West Summit, and she's a very good person to know. So if you ever happen to see her at the event, be sure to stop by and introduce yourself. My name's Christine. I'm going to do a quick introduction to our presenters. First up is Bob Rebello. Bob's the vice president of Go West Summit. He's the one running around behind the scenes, making sure everything's perfect for when we show up for the event. He's also created our appointment scheduling system, which you're all going to become very familiar with in the coming weeks. So he'll be guiding us through the website appointment process today. Julianne Krogsing is our international marketing director. She helps bring international tour operators to the event and organizes our education day sessions. And of course, Lena Ross needs no introduction. But Lena is the COO of America for You, and she will be celebrating her 20th anniversary with the company this June. She's also the current chairperson of the International Inbound Travel Association. So Lena attends a lot of the travelers' trade shows, and she's told us that Go West is one of her favorites. Thank you so much, Lena, for joining us today. My name's Christine Kuhl. I'm the marketing director at Go West, and I'm the one responsible for all those Go West Summit emails and event updates showing up in your inbox. If you're not receiving those emails, be sure to sign up for our newsletter. I'm going to drop I'm going to drop that link into the comments section. I'm also going to be keeping an eye on our Q&A section for this meeting. So if you do have questions throughout the session, please use the Q&A button in your toolbar, and I'll be answering some of those easier questions as we go through, but I'm going to save the harder stuff for our panelists at the end. If you're unable to stick around, we will be providing a SurveyMonkey link in the chat box so we can answer. You can submit your questions there and we'll answer them. You can also always email us at info@gowestsummit.com, and one of the Go West Summit staff will get back to you right away. This meeting is being recorded and will be available on our YouTube channel in the coming days in case you need a refresher or need to duck out early. So in this session, we're going to be covering the basics of navigating Go West Summit. Our panelists are going to teach you everything you need to know about what to expect during the event. Bob's going to go over the appointment process and selecting appointments, while Julianne and Lena are going to provide expert insights to the event. And they're going to go over what you should be doing to prepare for the show, helpful tips for navigating the marketplace floor, and your follow-up for after Go West. So without further ado, Bob, do you want to take it away?
I sure will. Thank you, Christine. And hello, everyone. My name is Bob Rebello. I'm happy to kick us off with this overview of the appointment selection process. A more in-depth appointment presentation is available on your landing pages on the How to Summit page of our website, and Christine is going to place a link in the chat box so you can download it yourself if you'd like. All right, let's get started. When the appointment selection process opens, registrants who've submitted payment can log in and begin building their appointment schedules. Simply log in and click the Appointments tab at the top of the screen to be dropped onto your appointments dashboard. And right there at the top of the page, you'll see the subscription buttons. Subscribe to receive a daily email to show you the new companies that have registered overnight, as well as a daily summary of received requests and responses to your requests. You can unsubscribe and resubscribe at any time. And here is where you'll also find the Meet with Media and Meet with Sponsors sliders. Turn them off if you would not like to meet with media and sponsors. You can also toggle those back on as well at any time during the selection process. Step one is where you'll set your breaks. Let the system know when you will be unavailable for meetings by simply clicking on individual appointment sessions to block them out. Step two allows you to find the companies you want to meet with and then begin submitting your meeting requests. And we provide an overhead view of your schedule on step 3. You can also request meetings with companies from this page as well. Click step 4 to review and respond to meeting requests that have been sent to you. Step 5 shows a consolidated list of your pending and confirmed meeting requests, along with requests that are awaiting your reply. Step 6 lists all canceled, declined, rescheduled, and auto-approved meeting requests. Any requests not acted upon within 96 hours are automatically approved, so be sure you're reviewing your requests regularly. Click step 7 to download profiles of either those on your meeting schedule or all companies with whom you could meet. This data can then be printed if you choose. And then finally, step 8 shows the meeting schedule you've built at a glance. The option exists here to download your schedule as either a spreadsheet or downloadable PDF that can be printed and used as your roadmap as you navigate the marketplace floor at Go West Summit. Maps of the numbered buyer tables that you can use in conjunction with your appointment schedule to plan your floor strategy will be available about a week before we see you at Go West Summit. Remember to join us for the upcoming Appointment Deep Dive webinar. We'll walk you through each of these steps in detail and provide some additional information about the appointment process. Now I get to hand it over to the Go West Summit pros, who will help get you prepared for the meetings you'll be setting up. We're so excited to see you at Go West Summit. Thanks for joining us here today, and I look forward to seeing each and every one of you on the marketplace floor. Take it away, Julianne.
Julianne, you're on mute.
That's a way to start, huh? I got this, don't worry. Anyway, thank you all for being here. Yes, and I have the privilege of continuing this webinar alongside Lena. Hopefully give you some good pointers, tips as we go along. As Mary mentioned, this is our 38th year and we're heading to Las Vegas. So excited. It's going to be fantastic and the weather's going to be perfect for us as well. Our registration numbers are, yes, fantastic. As Mary mentioned, 163 buyers, 282 media and suppliers. The big number I like to see here is that we've got people coming from 32 different countries. I like to challenge myself every day to try to list 32 countries. So again, it's fantastic. I'm really excited. Our ratio at this time is 1 buyer for every 1.59 suppliers. There's going to be over 10,000 meetings conducted during these 2 days of marketplace. And everyone has the possibility of having 72 individual appointments. My suggestion to you is just to pace yourselves and come well rested. Lena, good to see you.
Hello, everyone, and thank you all for being here. We just wanted to also point out that that Go West is focusing on sustainability and zero waste. So please cut down on your printed material and kind of have more online documents, links, that kind of stuff, QR codes, even if you have like a little something little with that on it, but try to avoid having big brochures and a lot of paper. Less waste. So most of the documents will be emailed with links and stuff. And again, instead of gifts and swag, consider donating to a nonprofit or, you know, anything like that. Bring your own water bottle. There will be water refilling stations available, and the Go West Summit online virtual resource guide will be a good tool for you. And also, along with that, less printed material and less gifts. Reminder that people are coming from international and do have limited luggage space. So it's a sustainability and just a kind of feasibility issue as well. So the more you can do virtually, the better.
Perfect. Thank you. So let's talk a little bit about preparing your notes for your appointments. This is a good example, again, of a very organized note taker here. It gives you some ideas. For me, it's just really important to do your research, of course, for your appointments. I can speak from history of sitting down with a buyer and saying, "Oh, well, I see you don't really come to our area." And they turned around and told me, "Well, actually, I've got 5 groups coming there this June." So again, you do want to be prepared. You want to know who you're talking to. And you will be able to access the information about the different companies once the appointment process opens, and you'll be able to get into all of the company profiles to start your research. And again, looking at people's websites is always a great place to go. Um, yeah, so again, take a glance here if there's any questions.
And as a buyer, I can definitely say doing just a little bit of research really makes you sound like you've at least tried. And again, as Julianne mentioned, there's a lot of information about the different companies on their profile sheets. The worst is to sit down with somebody and then their first question is, tell me about your company. You should probably know a little bit about my company before you sit down with me, um, especially if you requested the appointment with me, because I would assume you requested it because there was something about our company that you thought would be a good fit, or as Julianne mentioned, we're already doing business together. So getting yourself set up and taking good notes is definitely a good idea.
Perfect. Thank you. And again, here's some more information about preparing for the meetings. Have your notes prepared. Again, know the rules, do your research. This is a good one, and I know, Lane, it's one of your favorites, is don't go into a sales pitch. Okay. Each appointment should be unique, unless they're asking, unless they really don't know about you and they ask you to really go into depth about what you do and your product, etc. Again, this should all be prepared before you get to that appointment.
And
Again,
listen to them, as
yes.
Julianne mentioned. There are many times you may be sitting across from a buyer who's never been to the United States before and will need a lot of information from you. You may be sitting across from a buyer like myself who has traveled throughout the US, and you can say, oh, I represent this place. And I'll say, oh, yeah, I've been there. And then you're like, we're right next to here, and you fly into here. And I'm like, mm-hmm. Yes, I've been there. So make sure you're tailoring the conversation. You will also see there are buyers that focus very heavily on FITs or groups. So if they tell you they're an FIT operator, you don't want to talk about your group offerings and vice versa. So the best thing is to listen and tailor.
Perfect. And also listen for that 2-minute warning bell. You do have 12-minute appointments, but that also includes the time to travel to your next appointment. So when you hear that bell, please try to wrap up that conversation and move on to your next appointment. Again, so you're not late for your next appointment and you're also not keeping the appointment that comes after you starting late. So everyone stays on track, if you will.
I'll also make a quick
Yep.
caveat too. If you are planning on showing any kind of videos or anything like that, make sure whatever source you have has its battery charged so that you can use it all day or have something with you to charge it. And B, think about the fact that you should probably be doing any video showing without sound, because it is a big conference room. So you don't want to have your video with volume interfering with the appointments going on around you. So keep that in mind as you're planning how you want to do your presentation.
Perfect.
And then I'm going to talk a little bit about the buyer preparation because it's the same thing. Um, Make sure you're looking at the supplier's profiles so that you know a little bit about them. Especially again, if you've requested the appointment, hopefully you know why you've requested the appointment with them. If they've requested the appointment with you, it still behooves you to do a little bit of research so you know what's going on and what they might be trying to talk to you about. But You can ask if the supplier is familiar with your company and make sure you do have a brief introduction of your company and your role within the company. Again, if you do FITs in groups, but you're mainly the groups person, feel free to tell them that and then let them know you can always pass on information. Um, do your homework, but explain your specific needs to a supplier, especially if you've requested the meeting, what you're looking for with them and what you need. And this is a new time. Post-COVID, things look a little different in the travel industry. So, adapting, thinking outside the box, coming up with different strategies to get travel to the US to where we want it to be is great. And it's on all of us. And get engaged, take notes. I love taking notes. It helps my brain remember what's going on and remember who I met with. You will, especially as a buyer, probably be meeting with almost 72 different companies. So trying to remember all of those after day two can be a lot. So, yeah. And then for both suppliers and buyers. If there's not a match, be honest, thank them for their time, and both of you can move on. This, just because the appointments are 12 minutes, you do not have to take the full 12 minutes if it is not going to behoove both of you. Suppliers, it is not disrespectful or anything to shake hands and say thank you for your time and move on. Or if you've gotten your conversation out of the way in 5 minutes, reminder that these buyers do have probably 72 appointments. And if you guys are done with your conversation, you can feel free to thank them and get up and move on so they can have 5 minutes to take a sip of water, go grab a cup of coffee, and you can both be ready for the next appointment. Do not feel bad about that at all. We love when people can take the whole appointment time, but it's the appointment time is not a minimum, it is a maximum appointment time.
Good point, Lena. Thank you. Okay, and again, make the most of the time in between your appointments. If you do have a break, there's lots of different things you can be doing. You can prepare a list of buyers you didn't have appointments with that you'll hit up later on. Transition time, again, you can stop by buyers, but don't interrupt appointments. And again, be respectful of their time, I would say. I don't tend to do that a lot because I know that those couple minutes that they may have, again, they might be getting a drink of water, or just kind of going over the notes from the appointment that they just have. But again, if you catch their eye, say hello, that's fine. And step back outside of the marketplace. That one problem is I've seen is when you kind of hovering around waiting for your next appointment, make sure you're not approaching that table until it is your time. It gets a little uncomfortable for the people that are sitting there trying to conduct that appointment. If you've got a couple different appointment slots, go back to the supplier lounge, look at your next appointment, stop by the sponsor booths, or check into with your state or DMO for any appointment highlights they might have to share with you.
Yep, and buyers, same thing. As you will be seated, I highly, highly recommend if you have blocked out a break or have an open appointment slot and need a little time to yourself, please get up and go to the you can sit in the supplier lounge, you can go somewhere else, but I will say if you are seated, there is the possibility that suppliers will stop by as they are trying to, again, maximize their time. So think about that. Um, and be open to drop-in appointments from suppliers. Let them know I have an appointment coming in 5 minutes. I'm happy to talk to you now. Or, hey, this is my free appointment. I need to get up and use the restroom, but I'm happy to take your card. All of those things are perfectly valid. But if you do need a break, taking it at your table does leave you open to getting visits from suppliers. So keep that in mind.
Exactly. And again, we're all a very social group. We like to chat a lot. So, but again, just be respectful. And again, everyone's very kind. And just be respectful of everyone's time, I think.
And we are keeping an eye on the Q&A, so if there is any questions, feel free to drop them in there and they'll either be answered by Go West or if it's relevant to what we're talking about, we'll answer them as we can too.
So, 5 minute networking session or speed dating, as we like to call it. So, these are going to be, there's a session, it's going to be fast paced 5 minutes from 1:15 to 2:15. Again, it's quick. And the goal of this is really for you to stop by buyers that you did not get an appointment with, that you'd really like to at least pass on your information, give them their business cards, say hello, maybe say, hey, let's meet for something at a social event or something. But again, it's just really fast. Be mindful of your stay, just like during any regular appointment, because people are really trying to get in here and grab some last minute appointments, grab some business cards, and just connect with people that they did not get appointments with.
And buyers, please attend.
Yes.
I know that it can be a lot. And again, you're talking with a lot of people, but there may be suppliers that either registered late or maybe you didn't think were a fit and they then want an appointment with you or you were just full. This is a great time to get additional speaking time with suppliers. So please try to attend and be there. But as Julianne mentioned, as a supplier, be mindful of the 5 minutes. And if you hear that bell, continue moving. Yes, suppliers will be moving from buyer to buyer. That is correct. Um, each of the buyers are going to be seated at their tables both during the appointments and during this speed appointment session. So you are, as a supplier, you're the one walking around. And
Right.
that brings us to our next slide, I think, Julian.
Yes. Okay, so this is our friend and coworker Lisa Bruning from Visit Denver. She's very organized. And as Bob mentioned, this marketplace map will be available probably about a week before we head to Vegas. Um, so all the tables will be numbered with the company name as well. And what Lisa does is she kind of marks in red, as you see, the tables she has appointments with. The ones in yellow are the ones she'd like to stop by. So she really has a game plan. And then her media are in blue. So this is really her map of the marketplace. So when that 5 minute appointment scheduling, or when she has other time as well, and she wants to bop in, she knows what tables she wants to hit. Let's say, for example, she has an appointment. Sorry, I can't read it so well, but at one of the tables with a red dot, she knows I can bop over to 89 shortly after if that's available, or again, to use during the 5 minute appointment speed dating session.
Yes, I was going to say this is a really good tool during that speed appointment session. It doesn't behoove you as a supplier to just run around and drop your card at every single table. It really makes sense to make a plan and make sure the people that you're targeting, whether for appointments or for the 5 minute appointment sessions, really are who you are targeting. Yes, you are in charge of your own appointments. We may have a slide on that, but otherwise, you can as Bob mentioned, there will be a in-depth appointment scheduling. But yes, you can just do your own appointments and not schedule appointments with media.
Correct.
Christine's also answering that, but that's an easy one to answer. So you're in charge of who you meet with
Yeah.
on both ends.
All right. I
Yeah.
think Lena likes this one.
Oh, okay. Yep. And yeah, so social functions, again, as Julianne mentioned, this is a social industry and there are a lot of social functions at Go West. So use that as an occasion to connect. Make sure you're bringing business cards, or virtual business cards, and think about who you either had an appointment with and needed a little bit more time or just want to connect with. You can ask a Go West staff member or a buyer or supplier you know well to introduce you to someone new, DMOs, all of that. But think about this still as networking and social. This is not your time to just hard sell standing there and give your full 12-minute pitch to these buyers at the social functions. Introduce yourself, say you'd love to chat. If the buyer asks you a lot of questions about your product, amazing. But leave that for the follow-up, I believe. the really in-depth about yourself. And then if you have partners that either you want to target or are good business partners or any of that, you can invite them to join you for a coffee during a break, meals, drinks, any of that. There are opportunities at all of the lunch functions to sit at a table and invite a buyer to sit with you and save them a seat and have more time to chat. Uh, there's a lot of networking opportunities at Go West.
Thank you. Okay, what comes after Go West Summit? Follow up. You've sat now, you've had all these appointments with all these wonderful people you've met. Don't just go home and sit on that information. Okay. My rule of thumb is to go through and see who needs something from me immediately first. Follow up with the people that asked you for something specific and make sure they get that information in a timely manner. And again, as you're talking to these people, ask them when they like their follow-up. Some do want it right away. Others say, give me a month to settle down and make sure I'm home, et cetera, et cetera. But again, that's for a conversation with them. Please don't just send out one standard email to everyone, okay? You took the time, you spent the money to meet with these people. Make it worth your while and theirs. You'll get, again, it's a relationship building, and you'll get much better success, I think, from that. And follow up from time to time. You met with them. We're going to be meeting, I guess, I can't believe it, end of March, beginning of April. Maybe, summers are busy, crazy, maybe touch base with them again, perhaps at the end of the season, and ask, how did your season go? Is there anything I can do for you, et cetera? Is there anything you found that you needed during the season, I guess? I say season, I know it's longer than that, but typically summer's pretty busy. So, Lena, what do you think? How do you like your
Yeah,
follow-up?
I definitely think personalizing it is very important, especially again, even if you have kind of a general layout of information you want to provide, it's important to make sure it aligns with what the buyer told you they do and what they want, because it does not help you to follow up with a buyer that focuses strictly on FIT with your group rates and bus parking and all of that, or as a DMO, your best bus friendly, tour group friendly hotels if they don't do that. So making sure, and then I always go back. I had an appointment with a food tour company many, many years ago. And again, I still think about this to this day. So this is how much, but we had a conversation during our meeting about Top Chef. Um, we both loved it. We both watched it. It was great. I think it was even happening in her town at that time. And we went along on our way. And many weeks later, I got a card saying, it was really great to meet you at Go West Summit. Hey, did you like that so and so won Top Chef? I was so excited to see that. Again, little things like that make it so that you remembered the person themselves, the conversation you had, and that can really go a long way in building the relationship. I'm seeing a question in the chat that I think can be answered fairly quickly. And Go West can confirm this if I'm wrong, but appointments open March 9th, and the buyer profile sheets should be available at that same time. So they'll be available when the appointments open.
Correct. Okay, this is just the beginning. Developing this business is a marathon. It's not a sprint. I'm not saying you won't do business your first time. It's very probable that you will, but again, it's going to be a slow process. Again, it's relationship building. It could take 2 to 5 years. But again, it's the follow-up, it's building those relationships, and then you will see that repeat. We're a loyal business, I think. Tourism it's wonderful. I love it. It's call it it's a business, it's a family. It's just we're fun. We're nice people. And again, we are relationship driven. Build those relationships, consistency, continue to go. You can't go to one show and then I'm not going to go. I'm going to wait, 2, 3 years and then I'll go back. You really want to, especially in the beginning, you just want to keep coming and everyone, and then they'll expect to see you. Oh yeah, I know I'm going to see them there, and look forward to seeing everyone there. So take it easy, marathon, not a sprint, and relationship building.
Yep, and I second that. This is not the Go West to get contracts. Some you may have, some groups may still be finalizing for this summer, but for FITs and long term, people are really planning for next summer. That's the contracts you're looking to sign is for next year, not necessarily this year, and it will continue on like that. It's a long-term international, usually book 6 to 12 months in advance, so they're a long-term business. So
Right. And with that in mind, too, be prepared with rates for that far out.
yes,
Again, they need to plan their tours, they need to plan their business. So if you say, well, I can't get you rates until for 2028 until 2028, there's a problem. So do please come prepared with rates
as
as
far
best
out
you
as you
can,
can offer
as
them.
best you can. Correct.
Yep, yep.
Correct. Great. Well, I
We are
think
at the questions portion. I
that's
love it.
right.
I know we've answered quite a few questions already, but we are open to any and all additional questions that you may have on the summit, on how it works,
Yeah.
anything you want to know.
Perfect. Thank you guys so much for doing that. You guys were really good about answering the questions that kind of came up as you were speaking, but I did want to just follow up to make sure that anyone who couldn't maybe see the questions did hear those. So Julianne, could you answer our first question just to confirm how Marketplace works? Who is it that's going to be moving from table to table?
The suppliers will be moving. Your buyers will be seated at the table, and they'll be numbered and they'll have their company name as well. And the supplier moves from table to table.
Perfect. Thank you. Lena, could you talk a little bit about the dress code for the event?
Ooh.
Oh, wow. All right. Yes, I can. I would go with business casual. No need to be in a full suit and tie, but please also do not come in sweatpants. That's in that middle ground of slacks and a nice button down or something along those lines is a great way. Tourism is not a super formal industry, but we are also professionals. And for the evening functions, it's definitely a little more casual, but keep in mind where you're going. There will be a lot of notes for each of the events on whether they are indoor, outdoor. Take a look at the weather and all of that in the different destinations where Go West is held. So that can help you plan what you are going to wear.
Great answer. Yeah. And again, for those suppliers who are walking around from meeting to meeting, be sure to wear some comfy shoes.
Comfy shoes and
Absolutely.
convention centers can or convention rooms can be quite chilly. So I would suggest wearing something that can be easily put on or removed just in case the weather changes inside based on the air conditioning and whether it turns off and on.
Right.
Pro tip.
Right?
Perfect. Bob, could you kind of give us an update on the appointment selection, when it's going to open and when it's going to close?
Oh, sure. Yeah, that is coming up, but not before our deep dive webinar. Let's see. The deep dive webinar is coming up on the 5th. That's next week, right before appointment selection opens on the 9th. And we keep that open for a good 3 weeks or so to be sure everybody gets a chance to get in there, review the requests, and create their appointments.
Awesome. Great. Thank you. I see another
Welcome.
one question just popped in. Do any of you, Lena, maybe you might know, where's the best place to create a digital business card for the event? Do you have any recommendations on websites?
There
I
was one, if you
do.
don't mind, if I go back to some slides, I think we had one. Oh, boom.
Too far.
There, this
There we go.
hi,
Hi,
hello,
hello.
me.
Yeah, I've also seen people use Dot. I believe is it's something called DOT. Um, yeah. Unfortunately, I do not have a lot of info on
Yeah.
uh, the business cards. However, I will note that Go West does an excellent job of having all company information and contact information in the profile sheets and in everything that is accessible usually for a little while after as well, Bob, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. So you should be able to get the contact info of anyone you've met with as well as other um, companies through their system. So that's really great. Somebody mentioned they use POPL for digital business cards.
Perfect. Awesome. Great. Let's see. One additional question that you did mention during the session is if suppliers can emit media appointments. Bob, do you want to go over how suppliers can adjust their profiles to reflect that?
Sure. Yeah, on the main appointments page, after you log in, click the appointments tab at the top of the page, you'll be dropped onto your appointments dashboard where you'll be presented with sliders that will allow you to meet with media and meet with sponsors. Those are set by default on, but you can very easily turn them off. And if you'd like, you can turn them back on again at any time during the appointment selection process.
Fantastic. Thank you. One additional question for our deep dive seminar next Thursday on March 5th is asking what time it starts. It does start at 2:30 Mountain Time, just to give everyone an idea for that. And there is a registration link in the chat box if you want to sign up and get a save the date for your calendar. Let's see, what other questions did we have come up?
I'll just make a quick note. I know I see a lot of kind of concern and wanting to do research on the buyers and wanting that before appointment schedules. You definitely have time, and the way that the appointment scheduling works at Go West gives you a lot of flexibility and time as you get to ask your own or ask for your own appointments, and then they get to confirm or deny them both on both sides. I will also note that it is there are appointment times for the whole day. So buyers will need to go in and set some breaks for themselves. So please do not feel bad if you get in there right on March 9th and make an appointment request and it gets turned down because that's when they're hoping to have a break. They'll probably give you a different time that's available, but they do need to have at least one break in the morning and one break in the evening. So don't, or in the afternoon, excuse me. But you will have time, and there's plenty of opportunity to do research and all of that. So
Excellent. Thanks, Lena.
hopefully that.
Um, Bob, I do have another question in here that's directed at you. Says, I'm curious if there's a way to see what buyers are registered so I can start researching who would be appropriate to request appointments for um, before appointment selection opens.
Unfortunately, that information isn't available until, just to keep it fair for everybody, that information isn't available until the appointment selection process opens on the 9th.
Great. Let's see. Um, we also have a question if we are guaranteed a minimum number of appointments. Can anyone answer maybe about kind of what we can expect as far as the average appointments for people? Bob or Julianne, maybe, do you want to handle that?
Go ahead, Bob.
Okay, yeah, I can tell you that last year our average for suppliers was 42 appointments, and that's out of the ability to have 72. So buyers will attend with a full appointment schedule, most buyers at 72, and then suppliers can expect really as many as they put work into. You know, you're not going to have as many appointments if you're not checking your requests, if you're not checking to see who's newly registered, and if you're not keeping up with your appointment schedule. Would you agree, Lena?
Yes. Yeah, there's no minimum number, but the Again, I did say you don't need to necessarily go right in on the 9th at 9 a.m. and make all of the appointments and be ready to go at that time. But the earlier you submit your appointments and the more research you do to make sure the buyers that you're requesting and media that you're requesting with are a good fit for your company, the more likely you are to get mutual matches and have them approve to meet with you. But yes, I will say, most buyers do go in with the intention of having a full appointment schedule. That will not necessarily be 72 appointments because they do need a break, but they will most likely be accepting between 65 and 72 appointments,
Mhm.
let's say, depending on their schedules. So, their our job as buyers is only so good as the business that we do with you guys. So we are there to meet with you. That is our goal.
Excellent. Thank you. If anyone has any more questions, be sure to pop into the Q&A right now so we can make sure that we get those answered. Oh, here's one right here. Is there a way to set our breaks before scheduling opens? And do all appointments have to be approved before they show up in your schedule? What do you think? Bob, do you want to answer that one since it's an appointment question?
Sure, yeah. Step one is to set your breaks up. So as soon as the appointment process opens, I'd recommend getting in there as early as possible so you can block out any previous appointments that you may have while you're at Go West Summit or any meetings that might be on your schedule outside of Go West. You can block individual appointment slots up to half a day if you'd like. And as far as getting appointments having to be approved, yes. At Go West Summit, we are happy to say that all meetings are mutual meetings unless they are automatically approved by the system. And so what that means is you have 96 hours to respond to a meeting request before the system automatically approves it. You got to get in there. You got to stay on top of things 4 days before the system approves your request.
And that approval is both to set up an appointment or to cancel appointment if for some reason somebody asks to cancel one, correct?
Canceling it is immediate, and you have the
Okay.
ability to not just press cancel, you can actually give reasons why or
Yes.
request to meet at a different time.
Perfect.
And if those questions are automatic, or if those requests are automatically approved, you still have the option to cancel or reschedule those appointments, right?
That's right.
Excellent. Great. Perfect. Let's see. I had a quick question because I know that we have an in-person how-to summit during our Education Day session. Lena, can you go over a little bit about what the in-person how-to summit um, Education Day session reviews?
Um, I believe it is going to be very similar to this one. And Bob, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but kind of going over more of what to do on site and answering any questions once you've looked at your schedule and seen stuff. Usually there's also a walkthrough of the marketplace floor so that you kind of see what it looks like before you're in there and can get a lay of the land and know where the supplier lounge is and the marketplace lounge and all of those kind of things. And yeah,
Perfect.
Excellent. Thank you, Lena, for I kind of threw that at you. Just as a reminder, our in-person How to Summit webinar is going to be on it's April 1st during in Las Vegas at 4:45 p.m. So it's last day of our Education Day sessions. I do see one more appointment or one more question popped in regarding appointments. Do the requests have to be mutual in order to get the appointment? Bob?
Um, no. Like I said, if you submit a request to Lena and she's gone to Hawaii for 5 days, the system will automatically approve that request just to clear it from the system. Um, but again, she may come back and say, actually, this won't work for me for one reason or another, or this particular time doesn't work, and she can cancel or reschedule the request.
And
yeah.
if I can jump in, I mean, that's why this system is fantastic because really, like Bob mentioned before, most of the appointments are mutual. it's so hands-on that you really get in and know who you're requesting and they know who you're requesting. And it's really a very, very good system for both sides of the table.
Yeah, and I would actually, as we're here, like to throw in a little plug for the Education Day. I think, as many of you perhaps may or may not know, buyers, you have the opportunity to go on a FAM day during the Education Day. So hopefully you've looked at that in the Go West system and made a choice, either if there is one FAM offered or multiple offered and done that, which in general includes some attractions and hotel sites, which is great for you as buyers to get a chance to visit and see the city that you're in beyond just the conference center. But also for those of you that are suppliers, there is a full education day, the day before the first set of appointments. And Go West Summit really does a great job of making sure there are some great sessions that will benefit you in terms of your business, in terms of international travel. I know that IITA usually has an Ask the Operator session, so there are a great chance for you to learn directly from different operators and ask them questions. Sometimes there are sessions on various current issues like national parks and things that are going on there, and different things. So I really encourage you to look at the Education Day offerings and consider that part of the benefit of coming to Go West Summit, not just the appointments, because that can do a lot to help you in your businesses as well.
Thank you, Lena. That was very nice. Thank you.
It was. Good
And that
plug. Yeah.
schedule will be posted. We're just making some final adjustments, and that should be posted within the next week or so. So thank you very much, Lena.
Yeah. Thank you. All right. I'm going to do one last call if anyone has any questions before we let you go, since we're coming up on the top of the hour. Please submit them again to your Q&A button down there in the bottom of your toolbox.
And otherwise, we are looking forward to seeing you. I know I'm not Go West staff, but I'm happy to answer any questions or chat with anyone in person. I know Julianne and Bob and Mary and Christine are as well. So it's not like there's not, but there are people here to help you and get you through your first time. Um,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely. Yep. That's what we were here for. So if you see us in our blue shirts, Go West shirts, be sure to stop by and say hello, and we're happy to help you out during the event. I did see one more answer or question pop in here real quick, asking how late people can edit their marketplace appointments. Bob, could you let us know what the cutoff date is for appointments?
Yeah, we used to leave it open up until the start of Go West Summit, but that caused some problems for people with long travel times, like folks coming from Asia or Australia. They print their final appointment schedule, get on a plane, and then show up to Go West, and now they have, some cancellations or some reschedules or some new appointments. So we close it the Friday before. I think it's the 27th of March.
Perfect.
But Go West will let everyone know if there are any changes. You will find, as buyers, usually a sheet on your table with anything that has come out if anybody needs to cancel last minute. And suppliers, I'm not sure where at the registration desk.
Yep, exactly. Yep, we do have an addendum for each day. So anyone that hasn't shown up yet to pick up their credentials, or who has canceled last minute, we will have updates for that at the registration desk. Fantastic. Well, if you missed out on the questions, you can be sure to email us at info@gowestsummit.com, or there is a link there in the chat box for our Survey Monkey, and we can answer your questions there too.
Is there a Go West Summit app?
Oh, Bob, do you want to talk about the Go West to Go app?
Oh yeah, it's not an app because don't we have enough apps on our phones? It's the Go West Summit microsite. We call it Go West to Go. And on it, you'll find everything from maps of the marketplace and supplier lounge to maps of Las Vegas, the Rio Convention Center, along with a full agenda and timeline for the event itself and your appointments are also available. So you can leave your laptops at home and bring your small device like an iPad or just look at them on your phone. Go West Summit to go. You'll see more information about that in upcoming emails.
Fantastic. Thank you. All right. Well, as is tradition at the end of these webinars, we always like to unlock everyone's video screen so that we can see all of your beautiful faces before we reconnect again at the next Go West Summit. So, Bob, do you want to take a minute to unlock everyone? And everyone, if you're able to just hit the video option so that we can see everybody.
Yay.
There
We're
we
going to take
are.
a shot.
Bye.
Just going to take a minute too to make sure that we can give everyone a chance to sign on while who wants to.
We had a great big group.
Was a big group. Thank you guys, everyone, again for joining us today. This recording will be made available in the next couple days. So if you need a refresher, if you want to share it with anyone who wasn't able to attend today, we will have that available.
Thanks, everybody.
All right.
All right.
Well,
Thank
and with
you
that,
all.
yes, if anyone has anything final words, but other than that, we are very excited to see you in, gosh, almost a month away before we see y'all in Las Vegas.
All right.
All right.
Thanks, everybody. We'll see you.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Bye. Thank
everyone.
you all.
We'll
Ciao.
see y'all soon.
Bye-bye.